Hi, I'm Dawn Davenport, the Executive Director of Creating a Family, the nonprofit providing support, education, and resources for those touched by infertility or adoption. Today we're going to be talking about parenting after infertility. For more information on this subject, we've done a radio show on it. That radio show was July 15th, 2009. We also have a page at creatingafamily.com dedicated to parenting after infertility, providing lots of resources. For some people, the move from infertility to fertility or from infertility to adoption is a smooth one. There's not a bump in the road and they just move without any of the issues. Infertility is truly put to bed. And if so, that is fantastic, but that's not the case for a lot of people. Infertility is a disease of the body, yes, but it's also a disease of the mind. The impact of this disease affects your emotions. And just achieving a pregnancy or achieving parenthood through adoption does not completely put those issues to bed, unfortunately. Some of the times where these concerns and some of the lingering effects of infertility come up are in pregnancy, or during an adoption, or even after parenting. What I hear from people is sometimes some of the typical feelings I hear from people when they're pregnant after having struggled with infertility is a fear about the viability of this pregnancy. Will their body fail them yet once again? Another thing that I hear from people is that they feel like an imposter in the pregnancy world, almost something of an identity crisis, that their mind is still in the infertility world, but their body has moved over, obviously, to the fertility world. Some of the typical feelings that are even complicated further if this pregnancy was achieved through donor egg, embryo adoption, or embryo donation, or surrogacy. Those procedures add for some people, add a layer of complication. Some are concerned that they will not bond with this child. Some are concerned that they are still grieving for the biological connection to a child that they may not have, they will not have. And also there is the stress of who to tell, what to tell, and how to tell it. Typical feelings that come up, infertility-related feelings that come up during adoption, is a fear of jealousy over the birth mom. Even at the same time that you can be holding in your head gratefulness and sympathy for this woman, you can still be jealous of her because she's able to biologically, her body is working and is able to carry this child. Some prospective parents are concerned about bonding with this child. And of course there's the concern that you'll be jinxed yet once again and this adoption will fall through and you will not ever be a parent. Even after the child arrives, there are issues associated with infertility that can impact your parenting. Some parents describe being very concerned about the health of their child and as a result quite overprotective of the child. And a lot of parents who've had to really work to become parents don't give themselves permission to feel some of the negative emotions of new parenthood. You've got a colicky child, or you haven't slept and you're frustrated and you're tired and you long for just being able to sleep through the night. It's helpful to be able to express that and feel like you have the right to feel that, and for some that's very hard. If the child has health issues, particularly if those are associated with prematurity with a multiple birth, guilt is sometimes present for the parents and is very hard to deal with. Some marriages have been damaged, and it's only after you are parenting that you're able to identify the impact of infertility on your marriage. Keeping in mind that infertility doesn't always damage a marriage. In fact, for some marriages they pull together and are actually strengthened by having done battle there, but for others that is not. And here's an issue that is often not talked about but sometimes felt. You're now a parent and you feel very grateful for this child. You feel very blessed, but if this child has come to you through adoption or through donor egg or through surrogacy or embryo donation, sometimes there's a part of you that still longs to have been pregnant or still longs to breastfeed. You're thankful for the child you have, but you're still sorry and miss the child that you don't have. So what to do? First of all, realize that these feelings are normal. First of all, they're normal for people, most people who are pregnant are anxious and fearful at times. Most early parents are anxious and fearful as well. So you probably have more in common with people who have not struggled with infertility than you realize. But also, a lot of people who have been infertile have these feelings. You truly aren't alone. They may not be talking about them, but they've had these feelings. If you are concerned, if you're pregnant and are finding that you're very concerned, there's a couple of things you can do. One, know that most people, as the pregnancy progresses, start relaxing and the fears start dissipating. This is particularly the case when you cross the point of the pregnancy that you are relatively certain that the child will not be born with any of the prematurity health issues. I suggest that if you haven't picked an obstetrician, talk with your obstetricians, and when you interview them ahead of time, explain that you may be having greater fear and ask if you can come in between appointments to hear the heartbeat to help reassure you. Ask if there is a physician's assistant that you can talk to on the phone more frequently, or a nurse that can help you kind of calm the fears that you might be having. Start forming a network of pregnant women. You really need to transition into the pregnant world, and this will help normalize the process and give you someone to talk to. You can find these women. One of the best ways is through pregnancy exercise classes. Of course, childbirth classes and parenting preparation classes are also available, but usually those are taken relatively late in the pregnancy. So I would encourage you to find something that you can get this support and this network formed beforehand. If after you are already a parent, I think it's helpful to, as soon as possible, start networking with other new moms. Look for any of the Mommy and Me classes. A lot of organizations offer them, and quite frankly, go to your library. Libraries have great programs, and they're free. And you'll find some programs most likely geared towards new parents. Use any of the relaxation techniques that have worked for you in the past. And also, this is something that I find very helpful, and that is to read books and articles on other people who are either pregnant or parenting through adoption or through pregnancy after infertility. I list my favorite ones at the Parenting After Infertility page at creatingafamily.com. Get into a support group of others who are in the same position. If you're in a large city, you're lucky. You may be able to find an in-person one. But if not, there are a lot of them, not a lot, there are a few of them online, and I've listed them at creatingafamily.com. Although these feelings may be normal, if they are too big for you to handle alone through the getting support and doing your relaxation techniques, you need to seek out a professional to help you. And you need to do that for yourself, for your marriage, but most of all for your child. So you need to find a professional, a mental health professional, that is experienced in working with people, work through infertility issues. And that's sometimes hard to find. Ask at your clinic, see if they have one on staff, or they can recommend somebody locally. The American Society of Reproductive Medicine lists mental health professionals, and there are other organizations. I list links to all of them at the Parenting After Infertility page at creatingafamily.com. Note that you are not alone and you can get help. If you would like to learn more about Creating a Family, our radio show, or our videos, please sign up on the updates at the bottom of any page at creatingafamily.com. Thanks for joining us today.